At first, the question sounds almost contradictory. If our cells already know how to make coenzyme Q10, why has it become one of the most studied nutritional supplements in cardiology, neurology, reproductive medicine, sports science, and aging research? If biology already provides it, what exactly are scientists trying to understand? To answer that, we have to begin somewhere else. Not with supplements, not with advertisements, but with the way every living cell produces energy. Every second, trillions of cells inside your body are producing energy. Not energy in the abstract, but a molecule called ATP, the immediate source of energy that powers almost everything your cells do. Your heartbeat, muscle contraction, brain activity, cell division, even the earliest stage of embryonic development. This process happens inside tiny structures called mitochondria, often described as the powerhouses of the cell. But powerhouses don't generate energy on their own. They depended on an intricate transport system, and one of its most important components is coenzyme Q10. Scientists first became interested in it, not because it was an antioxidant, and certainly not because it became a supplement. They become interested in it because it carries electrons inside the mitochondrial respiratory chain. CoQ10 acts like a molecular shuttle, moving electrons between large protein complexes. Without that movement, ATP production becomes far less efficient. So before CoQ10 became associated with fertility or aging or heart health, it was already something far more fundamental, a molecule that helps every cell turn chemistry into life. This leads to another question. If CoQ10 is so important, why isn't it considered an essential vitamin? The answer is surprisingly simple. Because under normal conditions, our body can make it. Unlike vitamin C or vitamin D, healthy women don't normally rely on food to produce enough CoQ10. Most cells that contain mitochondria have the ability to synthesize it themselves. Food does contain small amounts, particularly meat, fish, or some nuts. But for most healthy adults, food contributes only a small fraction of total CoQ10. Our own biology does most of the work, which brings us back to today's question. If our bodies have already made it, why are scientists still studying supplementation? The answer begins with understanding how CoQ10 is made. Surprisingly, the story of CoQ10 begins in the same biochemical pathway that also produces the cholesterol. Inside our cells, both molecules share the first part of a metabolic network, known as the mevalonate pathway. At a certain point, their paths separate. One branch continues towards cholesterol. The other builds the long molecule tail that eventually becomes CoQ10. In other words, CoQ10 and cholesterol are not competitors. They are biochemical relatives. That relationship helps explain one of the most interesting observations in modern medicine. Statins are among the most commonly prescribed medications in the world. Their primary goal is to lower cholesterol, but because statins act early in the mevalonate pathway, they may also reduce the body's production of CoQ10. This observation raised an important scientific question. Could lower CoQ10 contribute to some of the muscle symptoms reported by certain patients taking statins? Over the past decades, researchers have tried to answer that question. Some clinical studies have suggested benefit, others have not. Today, major clinical guidelines do not recommend routine CoQ10 supplementation for every statin user, not because the biology is wrong, but because the clinical evidence is not yet consistent enough. This is an important principle in evidence-based medicine. A biological plausible idea still requires clinical proof. This brings us back to today's question. If our bodies already make CoQ10, why study supplementation? The answer may not lie in CoQ10 alone. As we age, mitochondria themselves begin to change. Their number may decline. Their efficiency may decrease. Oxidative stress often increases. Energy production becomes less efficient. CoQ10 is part of that system, not separate from it. So researchers began asking a different question. Instead of asking, can we replace CoQ10? They asked, can we support mitochondrial function? That shift changes everything. CoQ10 was no longer reviewed simply as a supplement. It became a tool for studying how cells age, how energy changes, and how biology adapts over time. This is where science becomes more complicated. Different diseases have different levels of evidence. In heart failure, clinical trials have accumulated over many years. Evidence suggests that CoQ10 may provide benefit for selected patients when used alongside standard therapy. In migraine prevention and in male infertility, multiple clinical studies have also reported encouraging findings. In reproductive medicine, research has expanded rapidly. Randomized trials and meta-analysis suggest that CoQ10 may improve certain IVF-related outcomes in some women. But the evidence is still evolving. Results differ between studies. Patient population vary, treatment duration varies, dosage varies, and importantly, major reproductive medicine guidelines still do not recommend routine CoQ10 supplementation for every woman undergoing fertility treatment. This is not a failure of CoQ10. It reflects how science works. Evidence grows on one question at a time. One cell has attracted particular attention, the human oocyte. It contains an extraordinary number of mitochondria during the earliest stages of embryonic development. These mitochondria provide almost all of the embryo's energy. That observation led scientists to another question. If mitochondrial function changes with age, could supporting mitochondrial biology improve reproductive outcomes for some women? We don't yet know the full answer, but today, the scientific question has become much more precise. Not does CoQ10 work, but who is most likely to benefit? Science rarely begins with certainty. It begins with curiosity, and curiosity begins with better questions. This is HelenHealth. We'll keep exploring.